I'm really happy to be here together with Ben, CEO from Usolutions, a UX company in Berlin. And while the remaining people join today, I start with a quick introduction. So my name is Reto. I'm co-founder and CEO of TestingTime. We partner up with RapidUsertests. That's the tool Ben developed as part of Usolutions. You will tell a bit more about it. But today we are going to officially launch this partnership, and I'm really excited to talk about it, why we kind of came up with this movement and what it really looks like and what the future is planned together. And there will be a Q&A at the end of this webinar, so you can put your questions into the Zoom Q&A window and upvote, please, so you don't have to ask the same questions over and over again. And at the end, we will take 5 to 10 minutes to answer those questions. I'm sure since we are the host here, all of you know TestingTime. We are a test user recruitment platform. We feature over 600,000 test users across Europe. We make test user recruitment super easy and fast. But today it's not really about us, it's about the partnership with RapidUsertests. So at this point, I would like to welcome, or officially welcome, Ben to the webinar. Hi, Ben. Really nice you join me today to talk about this partnership, but please say a few things about you, your company, and then we get going.
Yeah, so Reto, thanks for hosting this webinar together with us. So yeah, I'm Ben, CEO of RapidUsertests. We are a remote UX testing and research platform from Germany. We've been the first remote testing platform in Germany, maybe in Europe, I'm not completely sure, but we started around 11 years ago. We have several thousand customers, mainly in Germany, because we focused on Germany. And what's interesting, so when we started the company, so we were like students, and we tried to bootstrap the company. That means founded without venture capital, do it on your own. And because we had a lack of money, we started to do UX consulting to finance our tech development with UX consulting. And out of this UX consulting, the agency Usolutions evolved, and which is now, after 10 years, also one of the largest UX agencies in Germany. So we have about 40 employees. That means, so like the partnership between us, so on the one hand, we have a quite capable testing platform, but in the background, there's also a lot of UX consulting experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
so today you will call yourself, is it like sort of half is consulting and half is really building RapidUsertests and evolving RapidUsertests? Or how do you kind of juggle both priorities? How are you set up? From the 40 people, how many work on RapidUsertests and how many do consulting?
Yeah, I think it's about half, I would say. So I mean, it's always everything is very like melted together in some ways, but it's quite balanced. It's still quite balanced. It was always balanced, and it's still, yeah.
Okay. Let me quickly move my window, so because I realize I have two monitors and I'm not looking into the camera, not into your eyes. So good. And we have some history in a way. I mean, I remember many years ago when we started, I visited you guys in your office in Berlin, and I know you still plan to come to Switzerland to visit us and to go to the mountains with us at some point. But we have been, in a way, working together before. We kind of provided test users for some rapid user test studies in the past, especially when the target group was sort of outside your own region, which is Germany. So for example, for Switzerland, we helped you, and we worked together sort of in a manual way. But what we're going to present you today is like sort of the next level partnership, and I'm really excited about this. And maybe now a few words about how this started. And I kind of want to start why for us TestingTime this is a very important next step. So when COVID is now a year old in a way, and I remember before COVID we had 70% of the business for in-house studies, and only 30% was like remote studies, remote recruitment, like what you do with RapidUsertests. And then this whole in-house segment fell apart. We have now almost 0 in-house studies at the moment because these lockdown things are still going on. And so we realized, well, user research is still an important, I mean, even more important thing than ever. And customers need now a tool to do user research. But besides the tool, they still need a participant pool. So it needs always both. And then we were looking into the thing, we never had our own tool. We always said TestingTime should work smoothly together with like those tools out there. And yes, RapidUsertests is an important player, especially here in Europe. And there are like many other players. We always said we want to work well together with these tools. That's why we started to develop an API so partners can integrate their tool directly into our panel. And we believe like companies can focus on one big problem, and I strongly believe so. TestingTime is good in focusing on this whole test user recruitment, and companies like you, they're really good at providing a tool, but to do both is super difficult. But I believe if we work together like we do, 1 + 1 is 3. So that's why I started to reach out last July to pitch you the idea, and you said, hey, that's actually really in line with our original vision to do international user research. And that's why I want to hand over now the word to you. So what was your trigger back then when we started to talk about this partnership? Why do you believe this is a great thing?
Yeah, because it connects to one of our initial founding visions. So the first vision was to just make usability testing super fast, super easy, and the second vision was, so for me like 10 years ago, I mean the UX world was really different. So there was no remote testing, but for me it was really clear that the future of at least of international UX testing must lie in remote testing, because like 10 years ago or even now, international UX studies cost sometimes several €100,000. So it's a huge amount of money and time spent on this, and it's so much easier, so much faster, and also better with remote testing. And but for us, it was always difficult to build up a panel in other countries. So this was like a huge wall or like a mountain in front of us. And it was also a kind of focus thing, because we see ourselves, I mean, we have a German panel, but we see ourselves more as a product company, not as a panel company. And that's why the partnership from our point of view helps us to make international usability testing and user research more easy, and it also solves the problem for us. So I think we add up our core competencies very well each other. Yeah.
And when COVID started to happen, was it like, what did change for you? I mean, did you see a huge uptick in the usage of RapidUsertests, or what was sort of the usage curve you observed?
Yeah, so we had a kind of delay. So in the beginning, I think a lot of customers or a lot of companies, like the whole world, was a little bit, uncertain what will happen to us. So I had the impression that budgets went down for the first month, but then it increased. But we really had a strong increase in the last 6 months. So and I guess the reason for this delay is that maybe a lot of companies in the beginning, they switched to remote testing, and then of course they first used the tools they already have in their company, like Zoom or Microsoft Teams, GoToMeeting, things like that. And over time, then more and more user researchers realized that there are also specialized platforms for remote usability testing that maybe are do their job better than Microsoft Teams or Zoom, and that's why we had this delay. And in the last 6 months, we had a strong increase in booking.
So, speaking about USBs, I mean, yes, a customer can still use Zoom or Google Meets or whatever to conduct a moderated session. They can use a dedicated tool like yours, and now in combination with a panel or not a panel. I mean, there are so many ways, but I think what my next question to you is, there are like players out there and big players like, I don't know, RapidUsertests.com, they kind of provide an all-in-one solution. And so we go together to kind of also bring an all-in-one solution together, but there's still 2 companies involved. And when I was a customer and I had to choose, so why would I choose our combination? I mean, I have an opinion, our combination over like all-in-one solution. So what's your opinion before I share mine?
Yeah, I mean, so maybe I have a strong product perspective. Maybe you can add your panel perspective. So from a product point of view, I mean, on one hand, okay, we are a UX, we have a testing and analytics platform, so you can create different kind of test types. There are a lot of like capabilities to analyze the test, to set tags, commands, filter and cluster, things like that. But it's also a collaboration platform, UX collaboration platform. So if you want to share your analyzers work with your teammates, you can collaborate with each other. It helps communicating within the company, so you can send video snippets or highlight videos and special test results to your stakeholders or to the management. And what's also interesting, that wasn't really planned by us, but we discovered it, that it's also, our customers also use it like as a UX learning platform. So there are a lot of customers, when they hire, for example, new product managers, they set them in front of the screen and tell them, okay, now one day, just watch videos of users watching using our product in order to get a feeling for the user's perspective. That's one thing.
To get empathy for the pain, huh?
Absolutely, to get empathy for the pain, and not always. And the second learning thing is, so we also wanted to create it as convenient as possible. And so there are also a lot of companies who say, okay, for us it's also a good learning tool to show people who have never been in contact with usability testing to create their first own test. And so we have a lot of companies where our platform got kind of viral within the company.
But now you can answer why to use a specialized user research tool, but why would a company choose 2 companies like RapidUsertests and TestingTime versus buying just one usertesting.com platform? What is your opinion? What is the strength of having 2 companies partner versus one big one who tries to do everything?
I mean, as you said, it's focused. So you are completely focused on the quality of testers, the quality and quantity. We are completely focused on the product. And I think another important issue is GDPR. So I mean, it's not completely clear how GDPR compliant the American platforms are. And as we are both in Europe, so for our customers, so we offer maybe there a more compliant alternative. And I think that's also an important point from my point of view.
I kind of see it methodically. I mean, all your points make sense, but methodically, like this large one size fits all platforms, they are always like, for me, in a way, McDonald's. You have like 3 menus to choose from, and you can always eat the Big Mac menu. But as a user researcher, you want to be able to vary your tooling, your research method, and these platforms kind of try to put you into this this one way to do things. And so I believe the strength by combining 2 partners together is to really alternate. You have a research question, and it's sometimes you need that tool or another tool, or you just don't need any tool. Maybe, you know, you just need panelists or whatever. I think user researchers should be able to work with different things for different research questions, and this flexibility is not always given with these big partners, in my opinion. But now we have done 15 minutes of talking what USPs are, etc. And now I think we should just show the people how this looks like. And ironically, I have this poster, here behind my back. A user interface is like a joke. If you have to explain it, it's not that good. So promise, we're not gonna explain you how it works. Ben is gonna demo you how our partnership is integrated. So please share your screen and let's do some showing here.
Yeah. So maybe before I share my screen, I think it's important just to mention that our partnership is in a way that we have deeply integrated our products in each other. And so you can use TestingTime from as a RapidUsertests user, and you can also use RapidUsertests as a TestingTime user. Okay, so yeah, that's our like our site. We are currently in German, but in 11 days everything will also be in English. Our testers also can do the tests in English, German, and French language. And I'll minimize this here. And yeah, what I show you now is how you create a usability test on our platform. So this is the order form, and then we will see how TestingTime is integrated and what you can do here. So here in the beginning, I hope I don't need to explain it, but I just show you. So I mean, you can choose, do you want to test websites, apps, or prototypes? So we want to offer more and more services together with TestingTime. At the beginning, we start with websites and prototypes. So then you can have different test methods you can choose. We have a kind of 3-minute quick feature test. This is interesting for small iterations. This is the standard 20 minutes unmoderated, and we also have moderated live tests. Today we start with the unmoderated tests. Moderated tests will follow together with TestingTime. So then you can choose how many testers you want to test on which devices. We start here, let's say, with 10 desktop testers, and and then we can create our tests. And here we can start to choose our target group. So in general, we have 2 options. One option is that we recruit the test subjects for you. The other option is that you provide your own testers. So that's also possible if you have your own panel. And and now here this dropdown is where the magic happens. So you can choose between different countries. Germany, which is our own panel, and then now comes the TestingTime countries. So it's Austria, Switzerland, France, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Belgium, Italy, Canada, Spain, and United States. And if you do an inquiry, we will also check whether other countries are possible. So as far as I know, Reto, how many countries do you have, like above or next?
Yeah, I mean, there is a huge long tail. I mean, we have like basically signups from every country. I mean, I don't even know, like over 200 countries. But I mean, if there are 10 people signed up somewhere, then that doesn't mean it's really ready to be used, because we need a certain number. Usually it's around 250 to 500 to actually start to deliver and to ensure a quality delivery. But there are like some like one-off studies we support, and we go then with the customer into sort of a best effort experiment or agreement, and usually and then learn. Yeah, but it's all about expectation management. But here we really try to streamline and offer the countries we can support with good certainty.
Yeah. Okay. So then after choosing the country, you can like define the demographics, choose an age range, gender, and you can also define additional requirements. For example, you intend to buy sunglasses within the next, when is spring coming, let's say next 2 months. So and then, so here you can enter like target criteria that will be checked, and then you have 2 ways. So we have the easy way and we have the expert way to define your test. At first, I show you the easy way, and then I show you the expert features. So the easy way is so you have this test instructions. You have a scenario. I guess you know what a scenario is, on which URL should the test start, and then you can add tasks and questions and net promoter score. And to make it a little bit faster right now, we have also templates here. So we use a template usability check of an online store.
By the way, I love that feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why?
I think it just is a great guideline, even if you go in and then alter it a bit. But we have a similar thing, and we're going to improve this. We on our TestingTime side, we started to offer self-written screener questions, you know, and now we are going to improve that with choose existing questions, you know, like questions we know work well, rather than you have to think from scratch what to do. And the same thing is here. I think templatizing things is always a good thing to guide customers.
So we always had the approach to, like, on the one hand, to have a professional high quality service, but on the other hand, to, let's say, democratize usability testing. So we also have a huge long tail of like small online shops who do also easy tests, because we believe it's good for the digitalization, and for the people. So here you can see now. Then here are different tasks filled out. You can set goals as you like, questions. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And we take a short look at the expert features. So if you are a professional user researcher, you have some more options. So on the one hand, you have the option, for example, to randomize tasks. So you can define which tasks should be like randomized and shuffled. You also have the opportunity to, for example, with every task, switch to a new URL, or you have the possibility to upload images, to test images, or like advertorials or things like that, advertisements or things like that. We also have a 5-second test where like a URL or image is shown for about 5 seconds to cover the first impression. We also have kind of test preview here, and you can see how does it look like from a tester perspective, so that you can see that your tasks are like created properly. And finally, yeah, you have different type of question types, open questions, rating scales, like single selection or multiple selection.
And this will always, if you run now with us, you order French people, then you have to write these questions in French, and it will then be served in French, or how do you handle this multilinguality going forward?
Yeah, so if you have, I mean, you as a customer have to decide in which language the testers need to participate, and then you write in that language.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And for example, our if you have no, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
so. And maybe before we go to the next step, so for our listeners, so what we decided now, because RapidUsertests runs their own panel in Germany, and we said let's partner for the international expansion of RapidUsertests. So everything but Germany, when you use it directly from here, will, I mean, German participants will come from RapidUsertests panel, and all the others will come through our API integration from us. But you don't have to go to TestingTime; it will be directly integrated. But what I show later is you can also set up a order here and say you provide the test subjects yourself, and then I will quickly show how you then can go to TestingTime and set up an order, and you can do you could even use TestingTime's panel to get German participants, or you could have much more fine granular screening criteria, but I will show this afterwards.
Okay, thank you, Reto. So I will just be fast. So here the last options, you can choose when to test, when to start the test. For example, if you do prototype tests and the prototype is not ready yet, then you can like pause the test or do a soft launch. That if you are not sure is my task written well, then you just send one tester into the test, check it, and then release it for the rest. Okay, so we jump over the booking formula and switch to the your dashboard. And this is now the German version, but as I said, in 11 days it will be also in English as well. So here now you can see the videos that arrived. So there it's about like between like 2 hours and 2 days in average, how fast the videos come in. Often it's quite fast, so you have different statistics here. And but we just take a look in one video or in one session. So yeah, this is the video screen. Here then you can see what happens, and now you can write commands or enter tags to mark your findings and save them. And so that's the first step to document your findings, and you have like timestamps and switch to the different positions there in the video. You have then you have the possibility to analyze or filter all results above all test persons. So like if you say, okay, I'm interested in every findings at the product detail page, and I want to sort it by priority, and then you can see here what are the main findings. You can just step back to see, okay, what was happening here, jump to the video, and what you can also do is create like send links to your colleagues. So just to one question, hey, take a look at this, what's happening here in the checkout, we have to fix it in this way. Or you can create highlight videos. That's the last thing I would show, and then I give back to you, Reto. So out of the snippets, we have like an online video editor. It's not made for Hollywood movies, but it's very good for UX highlight videos. So you can drag and drop your insights here and like rearrange different scenes and make some interesting stuff with it. And in the end, you have nice highlight videos that you can export or share with your management team or with your colleagues. And that's from my side, Reto.
Thank you very much. And the nice thing is, if for those who believe this is all a lot of work and complicated, I mean, this is a state-of-the-art user research tool like many others. I'm sure like our viewers know many, like Lookback, Loop 11, whatever is out there. But the nice thing about you is, if you as a customer believe, I don't have time and this is all too much work, you can basically book within your order form a UX expert to actually do the project for you. And that's how you kind of combine RapidUsertests with your own UX agency Usolutions. Now I want to quickly, because this integration is now very in a way limited, so it's like desktop 20 minutes unmoderated, and with the criteria selection you provide, which is age, gender mix, and some self-declaration. You want to buy new sunglasses, which will then automatically be screened on our side. We are not going to write screener questions based on that. We will just ask the way you do your panel, does this statement apply to you, yes or no? And some customers say, well, we need to kind of screen much more fine granular, and that's in a way when you can come to us directly, and that's what I want to show. And I'm sharing now the where. So build share, and so good. It's funny how the mouse can be lost when you have two monitors. So basically, you set up a user test on RapidUsertests, but then you choose that second option. I bring my own test users, and then basically you don't pull test users directly through the integration, but you get a URL to copy paste. And then you come in here and say, okay, now I want to get those test users from TestingTime. I choose now this unmoderated remote, and then you go into the order funnel, and let's hope we don't have the Murphy effect here. So here it is. So then you sunglasses, you have your 10 test users, and if you have a private pool from us, so where you have built your own audience, you can of course then choose this even to bring in your highly specialized target group, or you just use our standard pool. Here again, you can choose like the standard age gender mixes. We support like multi-language, so they have to be able to speak English but read a French prototype, for example. You can have them even like from Germany, or you can choose any other countries. This in a way very similar to on your side. You can ask for certain device skills. They have to be familiar with like iOS or whatever. I'm skipping through these standard things. And maybe here is now the more interesting thing, and this is the main reason when you say, okay, I need to separately set it up. I cannot use the convenience feature directly through RapidUsertests, is when you really have very narrow screening criteria. So you control here either, no, this is the one you set up your really detailed screening questions, or you write the criteria. So that goes beyond like, I want to buy sunglasses in the next 2 months. You can say, and I'm only interested in, I don't know, Nike sunglasses or whatever brands, and so on and so on. And then our team will set up screener questions and et cetera. So for really fine granular, you can exclude experts. You can have additional information. So that's where we differentiate. And then in the planning, you basically copy paste that link you will get out of the Rapid User Test portal. You can get a redirect link, which you then also copy paste in there, and then you basically set the duration if it's the 20-minute. So let's go back to that, the delivery time, etc., etc. And so this is how you set up the order on our side. And now this is the way it has been always, but we also said we don't want to kind of limit the partnership to what you can do through the Rapid User Test interface. But of course, we said, look, from a customer journey point of view, we want to support 80% of the cases to go through the Rapid User Test interface, and they don't have to come to TestingTime at all to set up the recruitment needs. And this is how we start, and this is how we will continue. And again, we talked about unmoderated 20 minutes tests, but we will do the moderated, you call them live tests. It's also fairly new study format you provide. Is that correct? You launched it last year, sometimes, right? Yeah. And the complexity with moderated is on top of the screening, you have also the availability, the scheduling piece, and that is our next level we work on. We'll launch this in the next few months together, and that's pretty much it. So how you set up an order on our side. And again, when this whole thing is launched, you will just the same way see videos popping in on Rapid User Test side. So that remains. But still, our goal here is that you don't have to come to both sides. You have to only go to Rapid User Test and set up your order there, and we will directly serve the participants. So I think we have covered a lot. I'm checking the time. We have like a few more minutes before we start our Q&A session. There are a few questions have popped in. Is there anything you want to add, Ben, from your side, which we haven't talked about? We mentioned GDPR, maybe their leaner user experience. What are other things?
Yeah, so maybe there's one thing. I mean, it's not it's a little bit in the future, but we all like we think that in-house testing will come back when you know we've finished COVID, the pandemic, and what we are also planning is that we want to provide our features for in-house testing, so that that you have like a kind of like just a digital lab, yeah. And what we are also talking about is also that we cooperate with TestingTime, that you can order test persons also from our platform directly to your place, and to do in the post-pandemic world also usability testing with our cooperation. Then you will have a platform where you have, on one hand, remote testing and in-house testing, everyone in one digital platform. Yeah.
When you reached out to me regarding this in-house mode, I thought it was quite interesting because it's totally counter trending. So everyone was like pushing hard for remote, and including us. We helped to transform customers to a remote user research world. And then you came about, you know what? I think the future is in-house, and I kind of like this because there is now a lot of discussion going on. Will in-house be dead forever? Is it coming back? And I don't believe this is that at all. It's like, again, I come back to my point. User research really depends on the question you want to answer, and sometimes there is no way around to do this in person. Let's even think about physical things. It's not always a website or app to test. The product may involve a physical thing, or you may need to do eye tracking, which is always easier with lab infrastructure. There are tons of reasons, or the body expression is important to observe, which you don't get so well through a remote thing. So
security issues.
security issues. You cannot even show these things through the internet, so you have to be within an intranet. And that's why I do believe there will be plenty of cases for in-house, and it will come back. And I'm also glad to hear that you extend rapid user tests to have this in-house testing mode. In a way, Lookback also has that. You can basically give the laptop or whatever device to the test users and then start the recording and have all the observer features and annotation features. So these are all cool features, great for the in-house mode, and then basically offer the full spectrum to your customers. So I like that. And yes, happy to be the partner. In-house has been our bread and butter since day one, and we are happy to partner up there as well. So now I kind of glance through the questions, and there are some interesting ones, and partially in our conversation I already answered them. So one is your platform, is RapidUsertests comparable with Lookback? Advantages, disadvantages? Yes, so I mean, let me take a first go on this, and then extend. Lookback is a tool we also work with. We have not a deep integration with them because Lookback is really focused on North American, and in Europe it's used, but we always have constraints with GDPR. So the data is not really hosted or guaranteed to be in Europe, and with RapidUsertests it is guaranteed to be even in Germany, I believe. Is that correct? Your data. Okay. Yeah. So and I analyzed a lot of tools lately, and I do believe RapidUsertests is actually the only tool which stores some data in Germany only. So for GDPR, I mean, this is very quickly the only option to go, to be honest, for a research platform, if GDPR is an important requirement. Otherwise, advantages, disadvantages, I think you streamline more certain methods, and Lookback is more like, well, you have moderated, unmoderated, and it has a bit more focus for moderated, but it doesn't like streamline, it doesn't integrate a panel like you do. And that's definitely, in my opinion, advantage now, what you offer. And what would you say advantage, disadvantage to Lookback?
Yeah, that's a good question. I honestly, I never used Lookback by myself, and that's why I can't add so much more to that what you said. I heard from several customers that they have with moderated testing sometimes performance or stability issues. But yeah, that's honestly, I'm not sure really, because I never used it.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I used it a few times in studies. I even, before we partnered up, used it to teach at the university user testing. I'm in a HCI class. Yes, there's sometimes technical hiccups, and I think sometimes for test users, it's hard to install the extension. For the unmoderated, you use a screen recorder at test users to install, and I think for your live tests, you don't even need an extension. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. So our screen recording is completely browser based, so there's like no barrier for the user to participate in the test. So it's really quite easy.
Not even a Chrome extension, nothing.
No, nothing. Just open a link and then start. Okay. So. Yeah. I think we had the chance to build up a video collaboration platform during COVID-19, and we missed that chance because it's so super easy without installation. Yeah, but I think that's also maybe an advantage.
Yeah, yeah. That definitely is for us as the tool, the pool provider. Especially partnering up with different tools always means like every tool has their own setup costs, you know, and sometimes it goes smooth. And that's also, as part of our partnership, we invested heavily into making this setup process super easy for test users, because if test users don't get it or are frustrated with the setup, then we don't get like a complete another video back, and that's why it's important to do this. But again, I don't even want to like promote or dispromote any of those tools. I think that all these tools, and I know them well because I use them all, because for this partnership movement, I have to understand where they stand. And I just think I want to partner with different tools, not competing each other. And for example, you are clearly Germany and Europe, and that's why I want to push this partnership. And Lookback is more the North American case. So there are like always focuses the different platforms. Loop 11 is from Australia. We're also going to work with them, and has different set of research opportunities, and so they all like make sense in one way or the other and are good in their own way. Another question on what new features are you working? I guess I want to summarize again. I mean, we launched today the unmoderated, and we're gonna work moderated remote. And as you mentioned, Ben, then once we have moderated remote, or you call it live test, where you talk face to face to a test user, then we do together next the in-house version. So we schedule people for a physical location, and then they use from that office or lab space the Rapid User Test platform to actually record that in-house user test. And we haven't talked about those 3-minute tests. Eventually, we will also work on that. So kind of cover more and more of the study formats you support in combination with us. But first, now we learn how this partnership works for this most popular format, unmoderated 20-minute desktop tests. Another question is, do you offer any analysis of the test results as well, implications, for example, implications for UX enhancements? You showed a bit how you analyze and tag the videos. What do you do when it comes to reporting? What do you offer there?
Yeah, so I mean, we have two groups of customers. The one customer completely want to use the self-service, and the other group of customers, they want to have a managed service. And as we have an UX agency in the background, we have UX specialists who analyze the tests. They're usually people who studied human factors or interaction design or media psychology. And we do reports for our customers, like try to really drill down what's the cause of the problem, and give recommendations. Yeah, and we do that for like since 10 years. So this is also one big part of our offer to our customers.
But your self-service version, if I don't want to book you as an agency, does it allow to do reportings and kind of generate reports on the findings, or is this something you do then do yourself?
I mean, on the one hand, it's the highlight videos that you can create, and like a real reporting feature, so that you can like generate slides. That's one thing that we are also thinking about, but it's not. We don't have it yet. Yeah.
Okay. Then from Christian, another interesting question: do you also plan to have B2B target groups, a standard screener in future? Let's kind of take this thing apart. So B2B target groups, super interesting for us as a pool provider. I know from you, RapidUsertests, the panel you have in Germany is a consumer panel, and we have some, we call these special pools. So we have like an SME pool, we have a wealth pool, And so there are certain topics we kind of build as our testing time private pool. But if you really want to have like your own niche target group covered, then you should talk to us regarding a private pool, because that's exactly what the product is for. You set up your testing time private pool, and you can import and acquire this target group. And as I showed before in my demo, you then choose your private pool to recruit from. And then again, you can set up all the screening questions to go deeper and deeper to select. But on our partnership, I don't think we have plans to or discussed yet to integrate B2B target groups to be used directly from the Rapid User Test interface. Or do you want to share or add something there, Ben?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, short answer: talk to us, and we will help you to kind of get you covered there. Because for us as the panel pool company, it is important not just to have like consumers. We want to be able to fill either through our own special pools or through a private pool we set up together to solve your problem, so that you can research into the B2B world. Good. There is one more. Is it possible to recruit German testers from TestingTime too, or only not? I think that question I've answered in my demo. Yes, if you want to get German testers from TestingTime, you have to go. You choose like I bring my own testers in the Rapid User Test interface, and then you go over to TestingTime, and then you set up the recruitment there, and you paste in the Rapid User Test link, and then you can choose Germans as well. And yes, you do this if you need Germans and you need to really have a narrow target group or whatever other reasons you have to set up the order. But again, we hope you can do this all from the Rapid User Test side, but for these exceptions, yes, happily support this from us.
I think we have forgotten to mention one thing, so that it's also planned, I think even within the next weeks, that you can also order from your TestingTime website Rapid User Tests directly, so you don't have to, do this sharing, copy and pasting this link, which is maybe still a little bit complicated. So it's planned within the next weeks that you have also from a TestingTime point of view a completely seamless integration. We already have it on the Rapid User Test website. I think that's important to mention.
Yeah, that's true. We focus now on the way from your side to us and launch this, and the other thing will be worked on the next thing too. There will be a dedicated radio button to select Rapid User Tests, and we kind of optimize the flow as well. That's a good point you added. Now, there are no other questions left from the audience. I think we covered what we wanted to cover, and I really enjoyed doing this session with you, Ben.
As always.
Yes, and I know this is not the last time we spoke, neither privately nor publicly. There are a lot of things we do and we continue, and I really ask the audience to also not to hesitate to bring feedback to this journey, because at the end we both do it for you, because we want to make the user researchers' life easier and not more complicated. And that's why, yes, we do both our user research, but there's always so much to learn from more feedback. And yeah, in this sense, we don't need to kind of extend it to the full hour. Is there anything you would like to add? Closing thoughts, Ben?
I think you found very, very nice closing words. So
thank you.
I have nothing to add.
Good. Then I wish you a good day, good weekend soon, and for everyone else, go try it out and let us know how it works. And happy user researching. Thank you very much, and have
Thank you.
a good day.
Bye bye.
Bye, Ben. Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Bye bye.